Hey guys, this is Chauncey from Session Stories, and today we're joined by the incredibly talented artist Den. Den crafts music that is both deeply personal and universally resonant. His ability to turn vulnerability into power makes him an artist to watch, and we are so happy to have him on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. So I was reading a few articles on you, and I read somewhere that your music has been described as like unclassifiable. So my question to you would be, how would you personally, define or describe your sound?
Sad, I guess. I would just say sad. I don't really think too hard about like what is classified as or what boxes it sort of fits into. For genre, I've heard people say indie pop, indie folk. So I guess if you are a fan of genres, then I would say those. But like the theme is basically just whatever I am feeling at the time and like what's making me feel like I want to express something. In my personal life, I'm a pretty quiet person. I don't really talk about my feelings like per se. So my music is kind of where I will let that out. So it's mainly always things that are bothering me.
Yeah.
So negative emotion outpour kind of journaling is kind of how I see it.
Yeah. And then I also read somewhere that you kind of gravitate towards artists that are like unapologetically themselves. So yes. I was wondering, what are some artists that have influenced you, and how has their like authenticity maybe shaped your approach to music?
Yeah, I would say right now, like Sabrina Sterling and Glaive are big inspirations. When I was younger, I listened to a lot of Paramore and love Hayley Williams and her stuff. That was a big inspiration to me. Just like the unrestricted kind of just like, I'm going to scream out my feelings right now for the 2-minute duration of the song.
Yeah.
So like, I would say those are big inspirations. When I was first starting making music, I listened to a lot of Isaac Dunbar, a lot of Conan Gray, and how they documented their sadness through song. And I thought that was very beautiful. And I would say that was a big inspiration to me as well. So I also watched an interview. I think Glaive did it, and he was talking about how the music does not transcend if you're not completely honest. And I would say that struck a chord with me. And I like push myself to be like completely honest and say things I do not want to say, because I feel like that will resonate, and someone out there has felt that and they will resonate to that. Whereas if I kept it in, then like the song wouldn't transcend the way that it needs to, if I'm not being completely honest with everybody, including myself.
Yeah. Do you ever find it hard to like share certain aspects of your life through music? Yeah,
I would say like if I've done wrong or like something like that, like if I've wronged someone and I wrote a song about that, then it feels a little like, oh, like everyone think I'm a bad person, but I'm just a human. And so I've kind of gotten over that hump. It was something I thought about a lot when I first started releasing like my first 2 or 3 songs, but now I would say it's not something I ever think about, whether I'm being too honest in the song. I think like the more honest I can make it, the better the song will become.
Yeah. So I also heard that you mentioned something which I thought was super cool called quiet revenge. It's such a cool term. So I wrote down, so through quiet revenge, you said that was something that was like through self-improvement in response to maybe like mistreatment. So I was curious, will we see this theme or concept of quiet revenge in upcoming albums or EPs?
Yeah, well, I think to this day, it's like more so a life mantra. I think when I started music, I started doing it out of spite. I'd gotten out of a really bad breakup, and I wanted to feel like I could become something and I could say what I want to say without someone like keeping me down and telling me what I'm thinking and experiencing and feeling is not real or valid. And so my quiet revenge was, releasing my songs and pushing that as hard as I can, getting a job, making money, like just doing life stuff that I wasn't really doing beforehand. So all around like improve my life. And that goes through like with the music and everything, where I want every song to be like better than the last and like be more like lyrically like impactful and stuff like that. And then, to this day, I'm still getting my quiet revenge, so to say. So every improvement and every like progression of my life and my music is kind of my quiet revenge, and it's still ongoing to this day, I would say.
Yeah. If you could preserve, let's say, only one of your songs for the future, kind of like a time capsule, which one would you choose and why?
I would say, like, if I died today and I could only like get one song in the memories from that, it would probably be Rotten Teeth, just because that song was like where I first talked about my eating disorder with people other than my friends. And that song did a lot for me as an artist, I would say. It gave me a lot of opportunities to grow and to do like bigger things. And I would say a lot of people found out about me that way. But I could also see myself saying eat eat me because I went like on a trip to Nevada and it was like a very tender and loving trip for me. And it kind of reminds me of that time. So I would say Rotten Teeth, final answer, but I could also like sway to Eat Me for sure.
Yeah. And what's your creative process like? Like when you're doing a song, do you find a melody first and then the lyrics come to you, or do you get down the lyrics first and then have the melody? Or like how do you get into that creative headspace?
Well, almost like always, like 90% of the time, I start with the beat, and then I kind of just turn the beat on and I go. I don't really think about finding the melody. I know some people like to hum out their songs, but like I will just put the beat on it and like freestyle the lyrics and go all the way through the song. And then sometimes I'll go back and like change a few words or whatever, or redo like a verse that sounds shaky. But it's really like a 20-30 minute endeavor max. I'll put on the beat. I will just go through the song with like whatever lyrics I can come up with, and if the song isn't good, then I'll just do it again. And if that song isn't good, I'll do it again. So it's really like a 15-minute, 30-minute endeavor. There's not really any crazy effects or crazy production. It's just kind of like a raw, honest outpouring for that nice little 30 minute. And then after that, like there will be a different song and it will be about something completely different. And I just keep it going that way, I would say.
Yeah. Are there any genres or styles you're excited to maybe experiment with in future projects?
I wouldn't really say per se. The one genre I listen to a lot of that I do not make is hyperpop. But it's not really like, I guess, the format for the type of stuff I'm trying to create. Maybe I could find a way to like blend like the indie folk and hip hop in a way that's meaningful to me for like the things I want to say. Then that would be cool. And it's something I'm still thinking about and experimenting with. But I would say I'm pretty happy with where the sound is right now, especially because I only have like 8 or something songs out and I have projects on the way. And so I would say like maybe after I release those, I'll be like, okay, like let's try something different. But for now, it's kind of like I'm in like a flow state with it where I can kind of like put the beat on, go from point A to point B, tell if the song is good or not, and I should keep working on it, move to the next one. And I kind of like that like thing, and I still have a lot more to say. So I think when I run out of things to say in the format that I've created for myself, then I would like to move on to something else. But I don't think it'd be for like a while, maybe like a next year kind of thing.
Yeah. And I think I saw in your stories, but you have a new music video and song coming out soon. Is that correct?
Yeah, I do. So I flew to Nevada for a week, went up to Lake Tahoe and got a whole like suit of like knight armor and like a metal axe or whatever, and filmed this music video with my friends, and it was pretty cool. So like the theming for like the new album that is going to be coming out hopefully at the end of the year, fingers crossed, that's not a hard confirmation, but it's kind of going to be like the knight armor. Basically I'm just trying to show like getting hurt in armor, like no matter how much you could shoot yourself, you could still fall down and get hurt, and like wounds transcend like physical barriers that you can put up and stuff like that. And so I'll be wearing the knight armor for like the whole EP album rollout thing, so it'll be like in a lot more music videos and stuff going forward pretty much.
Oh, that's really cool. That's exciting. Yeah.
And I mean, it also just looks pretty cool. So
it also just looks cool. Yeah. Like what are some emotions or feelings or messages that you hope listeners take away from listening to your music?
I would say like number one is be selfish. I think that as a society, we have like a stigma on being selfish and putting yourself as number one in your life. And I think that like romance is something that often gets in the middle of that and makes people want to like put someone above themselves. It's fine to have, you know, your partner or your friends as your number two, but you should always be your number one. You should always do what's in your best interest and what you need to do for you. And you shouldn't sacrifice parts of yourself to please other people or to make someone else's like life better.
Yeah.
It just like, even like thinking about it infuriates me, having like a person that's out there that just have like 3 people that consider them as like the number one, pushing and elevating them. Like you're kind of just pushing someone else to the goalpost, but like who's gonna push you to the goalpost if you give it all your energy to somebody else?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, those are the main questions I had. And I guess the final question would be, do you have any, you know, final words to leave your fans and the listeners with?
Just drink some water, I guess. Drink some water, chillax. Don't take everything so seriously. Be a little nonchalant with yourself sometimes. Everything bad that happens passes, and everything that's bad that's ever happened to you has passed, and everything bad that will happen to you in the future will pass again. And that's all I want to say.
Yeah, very cool. Thank you so much. So excited to see the videos and everything that you release this year. I can't wait.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Text me.